Hey there, CIS 276, for the big project here that bridges chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. What you will do is create your own, choose your own adventure game. So, for those of you who have grown up here in the new millennium, and no, I'm not necessarily referring to the 1900s, I am referring to the 2000s, you might not have had a an exposure to choose your own adventures, but from, let's say, 1974 on, they really were the only game in town when it came to interactivity with things like a book. Now, that is not to say that the very first Choose Your Own Adventure came out in 1974. We are using this as a reference point. The links we have here are active. Some of them go to Wikipedia pages, some of them go to fully online copies of old PDFs of Choose Your Own Adventures. I will mention here that Choose Your Own Adventure is not a new idea. 1974 is not necessarily new either, but there are ancient Chinese texts that do this as well, but everything old is new again, and I just need a foil for us to be able to do a project with, so I'm taking those books from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. So because we didn't have Nintendos, so because we didn't have PlayStations and Xboxes, there had to be some way to create an interactive experience with you and a book. And Choose Your Own Adventures were those. So I have here links for you to The Cave of Time, which is the first explosively popular Choose Your Own Adventure book. You can click through to the link there to see what that was like. And it just so happens that the Choose Your Own Adventure mnemonic, the thing that makes that work, is really easy to recreate in C++. It's really easy to recreate on a computer. And one of the first really blockbuster versions of that was a game that's called Star Saga. I do have links for you there. I have not vetted the download, so please don't blame me if you go ahead and I don't have a Windows PC to test it on. Download Star Saga, and it is horribly, horribly riddled with malware. I did warn you. But you can see some screenshots there in that Google slide that show you what it was like to do a Choose Your Own Adventure. So for this particular, I'll just scroll up a little bit here. For this particular challenge, what you will do is create your own Choose Your Own Adventure game. Whatever, I mean, like, keep it clean, right? But whatever you want to do with that, go for it. The rules are as follows. You can use whatever kind of selection structure that you would like, so long as there are a total of 15 or more, but at least a total of 15 selections that the user can make. So let me just suggest that these selections don't have to be equally nested. So it could be that you have two choices to start your game off, left or right. And the left-hand side choice only goes 5 or 7 deep, whereas the right-hand side goes 10 or so deep. That's okay. They don't have to be even. Some adventures blow up on the launch pad. These things are life, and that's how it goes. What I will be looking for, though, is a minimum of 15 selections. And remember, those selections are of your choosing. 45 points. Good user design is going to be the thing that drives your game to playability. So what are you doing in the way of formatted output. What are you doing in the way of communicating your communicating the rules of your game to the user? What are you doing to communicate what the potential outcomes of the potential actions are to the user? So the thing that drives the logic really is going to be what you do with outputs, how it is that you tell the user, here's my expectations, what are your expectations, and move the game forward. And at the very least, use of at least one color change. If you click through on those slides, you will notice, and I'll click through on here, these all have, as just an example, a blue background with a white foreground. So the foreground is really just the text color. And this one uses a black background like we're used to, so the standard console output, but it also has orange text in the foreground. It has blue text in the foreground. It has a blue background with orange text in front of it. So several, I see white, different colors there, a different color green. So what you do here is really up to you. I have found that some developers really go nuts and colorize the living bojangles out of this. Other developers just are like, you told me I needed one color, so here's one color. And that is okay too. I just wanted you to know that you could do that. So over here, right down here, right there. On the bottom of the page here, there is a code sample with all of the colors. Not all of them. It's not an exclusive list. It's not an exhaustive list, but it's a list to get you going for background colors and foreground colors for your outputs. You can just copy and paste that block right into your code. And when you want to, you can use them in a cout statement. Now, it's all right there in the code sample, and I am 100% positive that you can follow along with it. But I'll just tell you, you would use a color in a cout statement the same way you would use set precision, or the same way that you would use a set width. So when you want a background color, you would have your cout statement. Then you would say cout and then a background color, and then another insertion characters, and then a foreground color, and then whatever the string is inside of double quotes, whatever the string is that you want to output to your output window. And what you'll see is the background will have a color and the foreground will have a color. You can also use reset, so cout, insert, and then reset. What that does is goes back to, can I call it the classic terminal colors, black background, white foreground. So that is this project in a nutshell. I know that this is going to be a ratcheting up of, the sheer number of selections that you have done from, the 4.3, the cafe menu, or the 4.1, the user sign-on authentication and display. But now that you have those under your belts, you can start to do bigger developments, and you'll see here how quickly those go together, because you've done switches, you have done if else, you have done if else chains, and those are going to start building faster here as you go on. So choose your own adventure and have a little bit of fun with it.